Good morning, class. Today I thought would be a perfect day for a field trip through the cell cycle.
Yay, neat! So what's the cell cycle all about, Miss Frizzle?
I'm glad you asked, Keisha. The cell cycle creates new cells in your body. What do you know about the cell cycle, Dorothy Ann?
Well, for my research, during interphase, chromosomes are still uncoiled and are not visible. DNA is in a tangled ball called chromatin. The cell spends most of its time in interphase. In general, mitosis produces two daughter cells, each identical to the parent cell. This process allows the cell to grow and repair damaged tissue in multicellular organisms, like bone marrow. Cytokinesis is the last part of the cell cycle. In cytokinesis, the cytoplasms of two new cells split, giving each cell half the new materials and organelles.
Awesome answer, Dorothy Ann. Now let's take a look at the phases of mitosis. In prophase, the big ball of chromatin coils up and become chromosomes. The nuclear membrane goes away and mitotic spindles start to pop up. Each chromosome has two chromatids. In metaphase, the chromosomes go in a line in the middle of the cell.
Like football players lining up at the line of scrimmage?
Superb simile, Carlos. The spindle fibers attach to the centromeres of the chromosomes, so the chromosomes can move its arms. In anaphase, the centromeres on each chromatid pull apart, doubling the number of chromosomes, so each cell can have an identical number of chromosomes to its parent cell. In telophase, which is the last part of mitosis, the cell starts pinching in and the chromosomes uncoil and turn into the big ball of chromatid again. Fun fact, the nuclei have reformed and are already in interphase of the next cycle.
So what do we get?
We get the same number of chromosomes the parent cell had and two identical brand new cells.
Hey, what about plants?
Don't worry, Arnold. It's pretty much the same, except in cytokinesis, the cytoplasm in the parent cell doesn't pinch or change shape at all. Instead, membrane vesicles form in the metaphase plate to form a cell plate, which divides the two cells with a cell wall.
But there's also meiosis.
Right you are, Dorothy Ann. Meiosis allows for sexual reproduction in organisms and genetic variation in its daughter cells.
So we all don't look like clones. Carlos.
Because meiosis is so cool, there are two phases of it. In meiosis 1, homologous chromosomes are split, which are the same two chromosomes that cross over, making two new cells with half the original chromosome number. In meiosis 2, sister chromatids are split, and the number of chromosomes are not reduced.
Just like in mitosis.
Correct again, Dorothy Ann. For meiosis 1, the first phase is prophase 1. After interphase, the homologous chromosomes are paired with each other, making a tetrad, and cross over, mixing the genetic material of a mommy and daddy. The cell is diploid right now, which means you have twice the number of chromosomes you will end up with. In metaphase 1, tetrads come into the middle of the cell, just like the football players again. Right, Carlos?
Right, Miss Frizzle.
But this time they're in a random alignment, making for even more genetic variation. In anaphase 1, homologous chromosomes separate, but the sister chromatids remain attached to each other. In telophase 1 and cytokinesis, which doesn't always happen, but for those lucky species, the two haploid cells form and each cell goes into meiosis 2.
Isn't meiosis 2 the exact same thing as mitosis in prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase?
Stupendous, Dorothy Ann.
So what do we get?
We get 4 cells with half the number of chromosomes the parent cell had and different genetics.
Neat. So why do we need two different types of cell divisions?
Well, the main difference in meiosis and mitosis happens in meiosis 1.
In meiosis 1, there are tetrads, which are two homologous pairs. Chiasmata also form for the genetic information exchange. Mitosis is cell replication and makes the exact same thing as you originally had, which is important for development, growth, and repair. Well, meiosis mixes genetic information and produces the sex cells, so we all don't look exactly the same. Mitosis has 1 division, while meiosis has 2. And mitosis produces 2 cells, while meiosis produces 4. These cells are busy bees. Ah! Back to school we go.
Awesome field trip, Miss Frizzle. We're never going to have a normal field trip, are we?
Oh, Arnold.